Hello guys, it's been a long time. I miss you guys.
True. It's been a while since we last met.
How are your experiences with the internet ever since the pandemic started? Since we all used it a lot, what are your thoughts about the internet?
Good question. Since I was infected with COVID a while back, it's amazing to think how the internet is able to affect our lives over the past few years.
It is tough to think about life during the COVID-19 pandemic, but I'm glad to see you healthy now, Ali. How about you tell us your story?
Thank you to Law. One time, I was ill at home, so I called the hospital. The doctor was monitoring me through an online application, then he gave me consultations through an online platform. Not only that, the internet has made traveling easier, that we can book for transportation services like Grab through mobile that have multiple functions, like ordering foods instead of going out on the road risking yourself to get infected just to look for a taxi or get some food.
That sounds quite convenient, Ali, but I heard the pandemic also made business a lot harder. Is that true? If so, where do you think the internet came into play here?
Not necessarily all bad. In fact, the internet actually made a great effect in business. It helps the business to obtain data and analyze the information to create better and effective products. To make things better, the internet is also one of the largest and the best medium for companies to advertise their products.
It is quite amazing to see how integral it is in our daily life now, even in business. If a company couldn't utilize it, then they could lag behind the trend and lose to their competition. But aren't we forgetting the most important thing we've used from the internet?
What is it?
Ooh. I know, it must be entertainment, right? Most of us here probably spent most of our time browsing through social media or playing online games to have kill some time, because most of us are hardly ever allowed to go outside to have fun, especially if you have outdoor hobbies.
While you are correct to a certain degree, Ahmed, and while I do agree some of us here have been using the internet for personal pleasure, I don't think seeking entertainment in internet is a productive thing to do, especially if you know there's a risk of internet addiction. Sure, you can be productive if you're a content creator, but none of us here are one, so I don't think it's the most important aspect.
Oh okay, but what is it then?
The answer is communication. The internet has made communication easier than ever, allowing people to stay in contact with each other. This is why I somewhat agree with Ahmed's point, mainly about social media. Thanks to this, we all don't need to meet anyone face to face. We can just send them a message, or even better, just ask them to go on a voice chat. Just remember to mind your boundaries if that person chose to not be disturbed. And lastly, we don't have to attend any physical classes because we can just access them through Zoom or WebEx.
I see. So communication is the most important one. When I think about it again, it does make sense since the pandemic restricts us from meeting people.
Not to mention that we do this kind of meeting online sometimes as well. So it's no surprise how it is one of the main use of the internet during the pandemic.
You know guys, all this talk about how amazing the internet is, somehow makes me miss the old times. You know, like when people all gathers together and see face to face and have fun, just like what we are doing right now. I feel like the internet somehow made us feel more distant.
I feel you on that one, Ahmed. I feel like people nowadays are closer thanks to the internet, but there are less human interactions, like when we go to a restaurant and speak to the waiters to order food, or going to class directly and have a more interactive study with the lecturers, or even just simply meeting up with your friends.
Now that you've mentioned it, I'm glad we're finally able to meet up together like this, just like how we used to.
Well, that's just how we humans work. We constantly change to be better, like how in history, human technology is ever evolving to be better and better each time. We are just part of the flow of change in the human history. But I do agree with most of you about the current situation of internet usage. That's why we all should keep things in moderation so that we aren't being too dependent on it. Sometimes moments where we can all be together like this is not something that the internet could easily replicate.
That was some deep and meaningful talk we had. How about we go outside and play badminton for an icebreaker?
Sure.
I'm in.